Well, hey there, friendships. Welcome back to another Curtis's Corner. If you are new here, hi, I'm Curtis. This is my corner, and welcome to another film review. Normally, these come out on Fridays. However, on a special edition of this, it is coming out today on the Saturday. So, hopefully, you are excited because we are going to be talking about none other than Wonder Woman 1984. So, this movie. First off, I just want to get it out of the way and say this movie is really good. It is so good. It is a great follow-up to the very first one. On Christmas Eve, I ended up watching the first one over again just to kind of refresh my memory going into this new one. And then on Christmas Day, there was a little bit of hiccups with the online purchasing of being able to watch it from home, but that's fine. We got through it. We managed. I did it. The storyline, super straightforward, really, really good. There is an explanation as to why Chris Pine's character has returned, and I think it is a really good explanation as well as to how they do it. Kristin Wiig as Cheetah, Barbara, I can't remember her last name, Miss W. Kristin Wiig as Barbara is a great villain. She is by far a better villain in this movie than what Ares was in the first one, because his character was extremely underdeveloped and just kind of came out of nowhere. Whereas Kristin Wiig's character as Barbara, you see her growing as the character, you see her changing as everything is kind of happening to her, you see the struggles and the motivation behind of why she wants to be a villain. It's not a strong motivation, but there is a motivation that's there, and I think it's decent enough for her. As for Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord, he was alright. He honestly, Kristin Wiig overshadowed him 100%. She was by far the best villain in this movie. Maxwell Lord as a character, or at least his representation in this film, was not that great. I don't recall Maxwell Lord being represented in any film anywhere before. Best representation for him I've seen is in the Supergirl TV show. From where I've seen up to, his character arc in that TV show is really well done. He has, his own morals that he doesn't see are wrong, and he's just trying to do as good as he can for Metropolis, where he's living. Or, not Metropolis, Central City? I think it's Central City. He doesn't see himself as being an evil character. In Wonder Woman 84, he's definitely an evil character. You can see there's no character growth. There's no inner battle really that he's having with himself, as it has been seen in other depictions of this character. He's just an all-around bad human being and doesn't really show much remorse. And I feel like there's a moment where they kind of shoehorn in a bit of remorse for him. But like I said, it's shoehorned and forced, so you don't really get to feel for the character. Maxwell Lord is basically a 2 out of 10 for me himself. Barbara, Cheetah, she is definitely an 8 out of 10. She actually tops even higher than Wonder Woman herself, which in this movie is about a 7 out of 10. The movie is still good. The first one blew all expectations that I had out of the water. This one, while it's a great follow-up, while there's good explanation, while there's a great villain in it, things that are wrong with it, like the action sequences, really well done. All the action sequences between everybody were great. You can see, I even watched some of the behind-the-scenes footage of the first one. And I don't know how much they did themselves on this one, but I know in the first one, there were a lot of practical effects that they did use, especially during the fight scenes where Gal Gadot had actually done the things herself. Whereas in this one, I obviously can't tell and see what's been physically done and what's very digitally enhanced or has been done with like a stunt double. But still really well done. The effects, for the most part, are good. There are some effects in here that are a little bit, they could have used a bit of work. The Lasso of Truth, there are moments in this film where it seems like it is very cartoony and very animated and like not actually part of the scene. Just with the way that it glows, it's just very, they could have worked on it a little better to make it more seamless. I said this in my reaction for the initial trailer. Barbara in her cheetah form, they could have rendered it. It's very much, it gave me very much like Cats vibes. It wasn't rendered properly. The effect, like you see close-ups of her face, and while you can tell that she's practically in makeup, they also digitize it all over and make it like completely CGI at the same time. So you can kind of see a bit of Kristin Wiig still with this like cheetah-shaped makeup on. But at the same time, it's also a computer-generated image that's kind of also overlaid on top of her to kind of like create basically what cats looked like. So I didn't like that. They could have done that so much better. But there were parts where it was more practical and you could actually see the work behind the makeup that they were using. But most of her as Cheetah was very much CGI and not great looking. But there are some morals and everything within this movie as well that tend to kind of tie everything together, and it almost helps to kind of move each of the characters along and kind of also have their own inner battle of what's right, what's wrong, and how they can overcome the things that they've done that are wrong to make them right and have them come out as a better person in the end. With all of that being said, I'm going to rate this movie an A-. I think it is such a good film. It is, like I said, it is a great follow-up to the first one, and I can see them doing like a full-on like series until we meet up to how she was in like, or how she is in present day. Because, you know, we saw her in the 40s during the Great War between Germany and Britain. We saw her now in 84, which is what, 40 years later, and she hasn't aged. So we can do something in like the 90s. We can do something in the early 2000s. We can do something where she does meet up with Bruce Wayne and all of that properly, rather than shoehorning it into Batman vs. Superman. So do go watch this. If you have theaters open, watch it. If you can rent it from home, rent it. Do spend the money on this. I'm telling you right now, spend the money to support. I don't like Warner Brothers personally, but support everyone who has put their heart and soul into making this film, because it's so good. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you give it a like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because I put videos out every single week, and hit the notification bell as well so you know when I post a brand new video. I will see all of you on the next one. Bye, friendships.